Hi, Terrence. Thank you for chatting with me again.
Hi, Camilla. It's great to see you.
Lovely. I thought it would be good for us to have a little catch up in regards to from our previous live that we had done together, and for people who might not have been able to catch it. And so have a bit of a recap and then a bit more of a delve into certain aspects of meditation.
Perfect. Fire away.
So, my favorite thing is always your story, and I think it really does move people to understand meditation. So, I know I always ask you this one, but I think for people that do not know you, it might be a good way to start.
Sure. So, as you know, I'm called Terrence the Teacher, which is a
Yes,
story in itself. Um,
for next
I
time.
come, yeah, I come from the background as a personal trainer in my early 20s, went to Pilates, and then eventually found clinical hypnotherapy and neurolinguistics, which really grabbed me. It was sort of, starting with the body and then getting to the mind part. And then I sort of brought out a hypnotherapy app in 2014, which was for weight loss and insomnia. And both of them went to number one on Google and App Store very quickly. I'm very grateful. I think I had good PR, good people around me, a great support system. But, you know, even though the apps went to number one, the part of the story that no one knew is that I think somewhere in all of what I was doing, making other people better, I had totally forgotten about myself.
Yeah, we all.
So 2 days, after my app went to number one, I went for dinner with a friend, walked her home, walked back home, and I realized something was wrong. And it felt like the world was folding in on me. And it was almost like in a movie, and I could see behind the buildings, and there was just this vastness. And when I got to my gate where I live, I had this one voice that went, "Go and lie down, you'll have the best sleep you've ever had." And then I had this other voice, and it went, "You've got 59 seconds to save your own life." So I decided to listen to this voice for some reason, walked around to this hotel reception, went in, looked at this guy, and I said, "Please phone 999. There's something wrong. I don't know what it is. I'll sit over there." And they got the ambulance to come and pick me up. It was 45 minutes later. And on the 8th of November 2014, at 10 to 12, I went into cardiac arrest and my heart totally stopped. And then on the 9th of November, so 20 minutes later, they found the heartbeat again. So basically, I was dead for 20 minutes.
Mm.
And then a little bit later, I had another cardiac arrest, heart stopped again for 10 minutes. They managed to resuscitate me, bring me back. And obviously, I'm yet to tell the story, so I survived. But I was sent home after that experience, and it was, we don't know if you'll survive, what's going to happen. Take all this medication, look after yourself, lose weight, blah, blah, blah. So I came home and I was sitting precisely where I'm sitting now. It's on a beautiful red couch that I love. And I realized something had to change. Something was missing in my life. And I didn't know what it was because I was making other people better, but
Mm.
I somehow hadn't found a way to nurture myself, especially mentally and maybe even spiritually, just that full package. And then a friend of mine said to me, "Have you ever meditated?" And I was like, "Get away from me. I don't want to do the oogly googly. It's not for me. I'm not going to sit on a mat and go, another." And my friend said to me, "No, no, no, just come and try this. Come and meet this person." And I went and met this woman. And I remember walking in, and she could most probably see my resistance. And she said to me, "Have you ever meditated?" I was like, she said, "Do me a favor." And I said, "Sure." She said, "Just take in a nice deep breath." And I went, and because I did Pilates, and then I thought, well, I'll take a deep
Yes.
breath as long as possible, show off. And then she said, "Okay, now breathe out slowly." And I breathed out slowly. And she said, "Well done, you just meditated." And I was like, "Sorry?" And she said, "That's meditation. Just focusing in on one thing, on purpose, in the present moment."
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, 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 wow.
Mm.
And I walked away from that and I was like, I want to know more. And obviously, I went and looked into mindfulness and meditation. The most well known course out there is called MBSR, which is mindfulness based stress reduction. So I did an 8-week training program in that so I could get qualified as a mindfulness trainer. And I did obviously personal research. I was very lucky to meet John Kabat-Zinn, who is the sort of the modern day father of mindfulness. And I had a private chat with him for a while, gave me some tips and ideas about what mindfulness should do and mean to me in my life. And it became my passion. And, we are here now, it's almost 6 years later. This year, it'll be 6 years in November. I'm stronger than ever. I've changed. I'm more connected. It saved my life. It's given me my life back. And that's why now I have to share it
Mm.
as much as I can with whoever is prepared to listen.
Yeah. It's such a lovely story, and it gets me every time. It's really inspiring, as well as that you managed to listen to your gut feeling, even though you maybe weren't as in touch with it, and that saved your life. And how now you're giving it all to let other people listen to their gut feeling. So this moves on to a bit what we discussed last time, how personally I've struggled with getting back to meditation because it would make me cry, and how people sometimes think that they really have to go into long sessions. So
Yeah.
I remember last time we discussed some tips on how to simply start slowly with meditation. So do we want to quickly go over those before we go into the more scientific facts?
Yeah. As a clinical hypnotherapist, I work
Mhm.
with behavior. So I help people, for instance, with weight loss or smoking cessation,
Mm.
people that struggle with insomnia. And one thing that you learn about habits is habits are created through repetition.
Mm.
So I call it PR, practice repetition. So
Yeah.
you have to do your own PR.
Mm.
So if you want to engage with the habit of meditation, if I tell you from day one to go and sit down and do 40 minutes, I think we're going to have a problem. It's not going to happen. So I looked at the science and I thought, so what can I do to make this habit part of your lifestyle? I thought, well, what if I say to you, just do a minute?
Mm.
Just shorten it, but every day, just do a minute. Check in on your breath or whatever the meditation is. And I just found that more people could get engaged, more people could do it more often, which means they practice and they repeat it. So it becomes a pattern. And once it's a pattern or it's a habit or a behavior, then we can say, okay, let's try 5 minutes. Let's try 10 minutes. So for me, it's important, start short,
Mm.
make it simple.
Yeah.
The second thing is, don't be concerned or let go of any concern around the method. So, do I sit in a yoga pose? Do I sit on the floor? Do I sit on a chair? Do I sit forward or do I sit backwards?
Mm.
Sit with yourself. Be with yourself, with your breath, what your mantra, whatever the meditation is you choose. That is all that's important. It's like if you think about, because I was a personal trainer for a long
Mm.
time, when you start with someone, you want people just to move. You want them to engage with their body. Later on, you can say, okay, do it 3 times a week. And then later on, you can say, okay, change your technique. But
Mm.
in the beginning, you want the person to engage. So just engage with the process. Sit where you want to sit. Do it whenever you want to do it. Don't worry if it's morning, afternoon. For me, it's about practice, repetition.
Mm.
And if you want to do one breath in and one breath out as a meditation 5 times a day, great. If you want to do it once a day, great.
Mm.
But what you will find, and I found it with myself, and I tested this on myself. So I'm speaking from experience.
Yeah.
I used to joke with my friends, and I used to go out, and then I would go, if my friends took me for a walk or whatever, because obviously they needed to get me out of house, and
Yeah.
I'd realize I forgot to meditate, and I would go, hold on, and I'd turn around and I would go,
Mm.
and they would go, what was that? And I would go, oh, I just meditated. And they would laugh. But in my brain, it became such a pattern that, hey, you have to meditate. That
Yeah.
eventually I was like, you know what? If I'm meditating, I might as well do a bit longer.
Mm.
And obviously, we are now a few years later, you know, and my flatmate and I laugh about it because I used to say I'm going to do a long meditation, which was 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So my short one would be 1 and my long would be 10.
Yeah.
Now, when we say I'm going to do a short one, it's 20 minutes. I promise you. And then if it's a long one, it's an hour or longer. But it's because I did it progressively. So it's short. Don't worry about, let go of any ideas of how it should be done, how you should sit. And then also type of meditation, make it simple. There is a lot of different forms out there. And, we're very lucky with social media, YouTube. But your breath is a very good starting point.
Yeah.
Because meditation is about focusing in on one thing on purpose in the moment.
Yeah.
Focus on your breath. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. And there's your starting point. If you want to listen to a gong meditation or a mantra, say the mantra Om. Because all you're doing is you're focusing in on one thing the whole time. But find something easy. Because sometimes people are very worried that it's connected to either a culture or a religion.
Mm.
So there's very easy ways around that with the breath, for instance. Because
Yeah.
we all breathe and your breath is always with you.
Yeah.
Does
Definitely.
that answer the question? So simplify.
Yes, yes. I think the other thing that when I struggled to get back into meditation, what helped me was, and I guess that would fall into culture, but I do it after yoga. So that's in the sort of cool down moment. That's when I can meditate, because longer meditations would just get me really anxious, ironically, just because I was accessing really deep emotions.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm slowly getting back into it. But it's a very slow process again. But it is definitely, as you say, about repetition and just keeping that
And
going.
I just want to say something,
Yeah.
about whatever comes up in the meditation
Mm.
is that, when MBSR, mindfulness-based stress reduction, was created in the 1970s, it was with people that were suffering from terminal cancer in a hospital in Massachusetts. So John Kabat-Zinn brought it there because those people already knew there was no coming back from this for most of them, yeah?
Mm.
So most of them had to accept their pain, their diagnosis. There was not much else to do. And what he did is that he taught them to accept things in the present moment as they are with no judgment. And what was quite funny, what they found is that people started mentally and emotionally improving. Their immune functions got stronger. And
Mm.
even their pain response was different. They could see a reduction in pain perception because by sitting with something as it comes up, so they would do something called the body scan. So you sit, you feel your feet, you feel your. Now, if someone is sick, let's say, for instance, they've got a growth somewhere, feel the growth, you are with it, just notice it. Don't give it a name, just breathing in, breathing out, because right here in the moment, and you move on. What they found, but eventually just sitting with it, not making more of it, it actually would lose almost its firepower, its
Mm.
hold on you,
Yeah.
its total consumption of your thoughts and your fears. And even what you said with, things come up. Progressively, as you do this more, if something comes up, you'll just go, yeah, there it is. There's pain. Yeah, I want to cry. Okay, I'm crying.
Mm.
Breathing in, breathing out. Accept things as they are.
Yeah.
Like a little baby, when they cry, you accept the baby in your arms and you just, rock it.
Yeah. Totally.
You don't put your hand over it, don't cry, or, it's acceptance.
Yeah.
And that's what we've got to do with ourselves. And you will find when you embrace that, that's why meditation is so powerful, because it teaches you to accept everything as it happens. And But I want to add, we are in a situation at the moment worldwide that is something that we can't change. And people struggle
Mm.
because it's like we want to control things. And it causes a lot of mental health issues because people feel loss of control. There's this fear of the unknown. When you learn to just accept things as they are, it's so much easier to cope, even with the situation that the world is in at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. It's when something's happening, even something's going wrong, when you just accept that it's going wrong, you somehow see a solution out of it, or you feel better about it and then move on. So
There's a lot of
it is
signs.
really that.
There's a lot of science behind that, and we don't have time that I can go into all of that. But yes, there is something behind that because you access different parts of your brain. It
Mm,
doesn't get consumed, and just one part of the brain fires, and the other parts can't come to the party and actually help you with a solution. It's like when you leave your house and you try to find your keys, and you can't find your keys because you're in fight and flight mode. So your amygdala is going off, and there's all this anxiety and adrenaline going through. If you just stop, forget about the keys, sit down, breathe in, breathe out, just be, the rest of the brain will come forward, other parts, as the amygdala calms down, and suddenly you go, oh, memory, the part of the brain that works with memory. Ah, I put it there when I came in, and then you find your keys. There's something about just accepting things as they are in a different state.
yeah, totally. And I think this kind of brings it to a bit more the science behind a meditation that I think you have done quite a lot of studies towards. And I think that can sometimes convince the more skeptics and the people that might associate meditation with religion of some sort or some sort of cult.
It's very simple, and I was very lucky to learn this through clinical hypnotherapy. Because in hypnosis, what you do is we say we deal with the subconscious. But I looked at MRI scanning, and what you do is that when we are talking, like you and I are talking now, we
Mhm.
are in a brainwave called beta wave, which is quite a fast wave.
Yeah.
Then when we calm down or we sit and watch the sunset or we're very relaxed, even sometimes before we fall asleep, we go to a lower state called alpha, which is just a slower brainwave state.
Yeah.
And then if you go very deep or fall asleep, you can go to theta, which is really slow. And then the lowest one is delta, which is almost like a coma state. All that happens when you meditate, if you meditate long enough, the repetition of a mantra or the focusing in on your breath in and out, all it does, it slows down your brainwave. So it takes you from beta to alpha.
Mm.
Now in alpha, you're still aware, you still know what's going on. But what happens on an MRI scan is that they found that our brain has different parts. So we've got a prefrontal cortex, we've got an amygdala, we've got an insula, we've got the hippocampus. What they found is that all parts of our brain run at different speeds.
Mm.
So if your amygdala, which is your fright and flight, is going, no, 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 and your prefrontal cortex is going, la, 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 which one do you think is going to be heard? If you
Yeah.
meditate, if you calm yourself down, if you have a nice cup of tea, if you sit and watch the sunset, if you're present and you bring yourself to alpha, all the parts of the brain start running at alpha speed,
Mm.
which then, so they resonate, which then means you hear yourself in a total different way.
Mm.
Not just one part is doing all the work and screaming. And it's a much more rounded you in that moment. And that's no oogly googly. That is the science of how the brain works. So
Yeah.
when I hypnotize someone, all I do is I use my voice
Mm.
and I will make it very boring and monotone. And I'll just say the things like this, and the brain waves will just slow down.
Yeah.
And it's in that alpha state that the real full brain person comes to the forefront. And that's when you can help people to really make changes.
Mm.
But you can do that for yourself by meditating.
Yeah. Definitely, it does. It is when I have been in hypnotherapy, it has been the same feeling of when I am in a very deep meditation. So for anyone else who's tried both, they can definitely relate. That is very,
All you need is you need that one thing to focus on. In the olden days, the old hypnotherapists used pendulums to bore the eyes. Now we know we've moved on, we use voice. But in meditation, you can use a mantra, you can use your breath, you can do counting, you can do bowl, there's even now, they've gone so advanced now that you can actually listen to frequencies. I don't know if you've seen that.
no, I
So
haven't.
there's
Sounds really
actually stuff,
interesting.
on YouTube where alpha wave,
Mm.
theta wave, delta waves, where they just play the wave speed and you can sit with it. And I've done some, and sometimes, oh my gosh, it's the most amazing because it takes you to that wave and you just feel, you feel revived from it.
Oh,
Obviously, you've got to be very careful because if the sound's not good, the system is not good, you know, but yeah, you can look into the companies that are more well known. There's so many things there that could just help you, but it's all about brainwaves. It's all about science now.
yeah, it is. And I think that's why also hypnotherapy can sometimes be helpful for insomniacs. I've been doing some hypnotherapy for insomnia.
100%.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, it's really, it's such a powerful thing, the brain, and meditation is basically a way to listen to it
I
as well
just
as
think that,
getting in
you
touch
know,
with
you
your gut. Sorry.
know, I think that, with hypnosis, you need the therapist because I guide you. And
Yeah,
in meditation, sometimes you can have, again, me or someone guiding you, or the yoga teacher. But meditation and mindfulness, or being mindful, is a process you can do for yourself.
mm,
And the more you bring yourself to a mindful state of mind, you find the more you will come to alpha state quite naturally,
yeah,
because the brain will get used to it. And once it feels comfortable and it feels so much better, you can get yourself to alpha state very quickly. And in that state, it's so much easier to become aware of what you are, to
mm,
pay attention to your thoughts and your responses, and then hopefully to take action to help you change. I call it the triple A: awareness, attention, and then the action. Because once you're aware of your thoughts, aware of your responses, you might find that you can change yourself fundamentally in many ways.
yeah. And as you said, I think it's very important, especially now people have more time to possibly touch in with such things. It shouldn't be that only because we have suddenly that we're forced to being more at home that we do this, but I feel it is a time where people might be looking more to have certain introspectives that then will be helpful, and maybe should have been something we could have looked at a lot earlier in our lives. But it is so helpful or also like our whole project about starting over, which is about finding a more serene version of yourself and path in life, both in the career as well as with yourself. So I think it is definitely something very helpful that I recommend to so many people. I was wondering whether, is there anything else you would like to share? Otherwise, if we could do a short exercise of some sort.
We can definitely do one. I think as far as, I just wanted to say, when you said starting over,
Yeah.
when I had my cardiac arrest, every day when I woke up, I was grateful that there I was still,
Mm,
in this experience. And one of the things that I've brought from that is that every day is an opportunity to totally become a new you. Every day when you are wake up, it's like being reborn.
mm,
Tomorrow is gone, it's past. But today, as it sits in front of you, you can make the most unbelievable choices, or the most unbelievable experiences can come into your life if you open to them. So I think that sleeping and waking up is a gift, because we are given an opportunity every day to start something new.
true.
And all you have to do is start today.
That is actually a really beautiful thing to say, and it
Yeah.
does touch me a lot because as an insomniac, it's something I've dealt with my whole life. So seeing sleep as a gift is definitely something that I appreciate. But it's
Yeah.
really it's a lovely message, and it's definitely true.
Um, for the exercise, are you going to do it with me?
Yes, if
Okay.
I was
So,
thinking
what-
to do
so
it with.
this exercise is something that I teach everyone that follows me, that knows me. It's very simple. I do it a lot, but it's very powerful because very quickly it just brings you to yourself, just into the moment. It's great to do wherever you are, in a bus, on a tube, in a car, walking. If you're upset and you go walk away from someone, make a cup of tea. By doing this, you can just bring yourself a little bit calmer. It will actually calm down the parasympathetic nervous system.
Hmm.
Your brain waves will slow down. Your blood pressure will drop. Your heart rate will go slower. It will almost reset you. And you can start your day like that. You can end your day like that. You can do it in the middle of the day, whenever. And this exercise is called checking in on your breath.
Okay.
So if you're safe and if you're comfortable and if you want to, but you don't have to, close your eyes. It's just good not to have any distraction. And then once you've closed your eyes, what I want you to do for me is to basically check in on your breath. So just notice yourself breathing. Notice your breath. Now, as you breathe in and as you breathe out, just ask yourself, is my breath fast or slow? Just notice. Is my breath deep or shallow? And whatever you notice, no need to change it or to try and correct it. Your breath knows what to do. Just notice if your breath is deep or shallow. And then what I want you to do for me, as you breathe in and as you breathe out, just check where in your body do you notice yourself breathing the most. Perhaps it's your stomach. Perhaps it's your chest. Perhaps the throat. Or your nostrils. Just be inquisitive. Notice where in your body do you notice yourself breathing. And again, no need to change it. Just become aware of it. Just paying attention to your breath. And then just notice your breathing, breathing in and breathing out. And then when you're ready, at your own time, at your own pace, you can slowly open your eyes or go on with your day. As simple as that.
Yeah, I simply already feel the difference.
I feel better. I feel calmer.
Mm,
I feel reset because it's about resetting yourself. You know, our stress levels and all these other things just do their own thing during the day. And yeah, you've got a little tool just to bring yourself back a little bit back to calmness, relaxation, feeling a bit better, which means you'll get to the end of your day better.
mm,
You know, and the reason why we sort of ask those questions about our breath because you really want to connect with yourself, first of all. Where's my breath? Because, our body takes us from A to Z every day. Do we ever actually spend some time just say, hi, hi feet, how are you? Hi knees, thank you for doing this. Hi stomach, I fill you up a lot, but, how are we? Checking in with your breathing. You just sort of forget that, it just does it for you. So it's quite nice to just give your body that bit of attention, what it needs. It's
Yeah.
almost like a little bit of a hug that you give yourself. And then also by doing that, our mind is a wandering mind. Science says that the brain is a wandering brain, the thoughts.
Mm.
It's how it works. But by doing those questions, you actually interrupt your thoughts. So if you were thinking about, oh, this or that, or I should do something later, or just by, oh, how's my breath? Is it faster? You're interrupting it,
Yeah.
which means you bring yourself into the moment.
Yeah, because at one point when you were talking, I started thinking, oh, I need to hang the laundry. And then you
There
said,
we go.
check in. And you said, and I was like, oh, yeah, check in on the breathing. So it is exactly as you say. And also, as you said about giving attention to your body, I went for a run earlier and I've got a bit of a bad knee. And the knee was starting to hurt. And for 1 second, I just thought, thank you, knee. I'm grateful that you're still letting me run. And suddenly it was fine. It was still okay,
Yeah.
and I kept running. So it is truly about giving that attention and gratefulness to your own body, and the checking in with the breath is really helpful.
Yeah, I think people talk a lot about self-love, and I don't even know if that's the right word,
Mm,
because for me it's more about self-care.
yeah,
It's about knowing that this is what you have to offer the world, but you have to be your optimum, you have to be the best you that you can be. And the best person to look after yourself is you, because you are with you from the minute you wake up until you go to bed, from the day you were born and you took your first breath until the day that you move on and breathe out that last breath. So it's up to you. It's in your power.
yes. And I think it's also a thing that people sometimes forget when they are in relationships, that they project so much on how much happiness the other person is meant to bring into their life, when it is a lot so much. And it can be any sort of relationship. It can be a friendship, it can be a romantic relationship, and sometimes we forget that it first comes from us.
So one of the things I learned, having the 2 cardiac arrests is that, I was making people better, helping people to, smoking cessation, sleep better, #1 app, whatever. I forgot about my health, my well-being.
Hmm.
And now it's a priority, because I know if I'm healthy and if I'm better, if I'm calm, if I'm relaxed, if I'm content, if I'm aware, you pick it up. I can be a better me. I can help more people. It just pays off in such a big way by starting with the self.
Totally. It's a really beautiful message, and it's definitely something I think people should take from this.
It's my pleasure to share, as you know.
Yes, it's been lovely speaking to you. Is there anything else you wish to add, or?
I think that we've said everything. I
Yeah.
think people know, all I want to say, maybe, no, no, as I said, I didn't want to say something. Now I'm going to say something.
It's fine. You always
Yes,
have to speak to me.
one thing I can just say to people is that, especially because of the situation we're in, nothing's forever. Things change. I always think that we always have to look at the bigger picture. I believe that everything happens for a reason. I trust the process that I'm part of, and we will get through this. Start now, and then you can take it into the new world. Because if we all start now and we just come back out of this a little bit better, a bit more aware, paying a bit more attention, we can, this could be the start of an amazing new world. And I'm quite excited. I know that, it's a terrible time, but I think I'm excited that this could just be the start of something so much more than we've ever believed could happen. but we have to really start believing it and seeing it.
Yes, I'm really hopeful that there will be a change on so many
Yeah,
levels.
they will. So thank you.
Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure speaking to you, and thank you for the exercise. And I hope that your wisdom has enlightened many people.
Have a
Thank you,
good day.
Terrence. Have a lovely day.